When you take the phone apart, what you're going to find inside is a rotary component that is actually wired up just like a 4x4 keypad with 4 rows, 4 columns, and 8 wires coming out of it. So all of those wires I have soldered onto some jumper leads and have them all going into this breadboard with the Arduino right there. Now the cords lead out the back of the dresser here, and behind the dresser is going to be a relay and a power source to that relay, and all of that then connects again through the back of this. You can't see it right now, but there's another hole back there that then comes over and connects to this magnetic lock. So the magnetic lock is actually interesting installing it, because at first we didn't have the two surfaces exactly lined up parallel. And so it wasn't actually locking because only like a small corner of this was touching this. So it was super easy to pull it off. So we fixed that by adding some little shims in there to make sure that the entire surface area of this makes contact with the entire surface area of that. And when that's the case, this is pretty strong and can't really be pulled off. I also have these LEDs hooked up here, each connected to a 220 ohm resistor that run into their own pins on the Arduino. Those are for user feedback, because sometimes if you don't go all the way down on a number, it didn't catch. So the yellow LED shows that it did indeed take the number, as opposed to not going all the way down. You can set it as anything, but the pound button is what hits enter, and it tells you whether the code is right or wrong. If it's right, it is green. If it's wrong, it's red. We even have a way to reset. So I believe the reset code is this. It flashes and tells me that the mag lock is now being reset. So the game master can reset the mag lock without having to reset the whole power circuit. Here is the wiring diagram for this puzzle. Here we have a code pad that's connected with 8 wires. Depending on your code pad, you'll need to look up which wires connect to which pins and rows, or you can do like I did and connect them all and just see which button activates which combination of wires and hard code that in to match. We've got our 3 LEDs all connected to 220 ohm resistors. And here's our relay. Our normally open pin goes to the positive terminal of the mag lock, and our COM pin goes to our 12-volt power source, while the ground of the power source leads directly to the mag lock. The other side of the relay has power, ground, and the communication pin to the Arduino. So I connected that pin to AO, and then the 5-volt and ground for the other two. Here is the code for the rotary phone puzzle. So first thing we do is include the keypad library, and then we initialize our keypad and the pins that they're connected to. Since my keypad didn't have the standard convention for the rows and columns, I had to do some troubleshooting to figure out which button associated with which space in this matrix. And so this is just how my code pad turned out. You might have to do some trial and error with yours to find out how your matrix is set up. Here we initialize all the pins. Our lock pin is the relay communication that was leading from the mag lock. We connect that to AO. And there's more setup for the keypad. And here we're writing our passwords. So these can be any length that you want, but they both have to be the same length. The unlock is the code for the player to put in that unlocks the mag lock, and the lock is the player for the game master, or is the code for the game master to put in to relock the mag lock at the reset time. Here we're setting up more pins, or the same pins as outputs. And now we go into our logic loop. So the first thing the code checks for is if a button's being pressed, and if it's not the hashtag, which is our enter button, then we let the user know that with flashing the yellow LED that it has accepted a value, and it keeps adding that value to the stored password until that hashtag key is hit. So if the hashtag key is hit and the number is equal to 7, which is the length of our password, then it goes to the check password function. If the length of the key is less than or greater than 7, then we flash the red LED to let the player know that that was the wrong code, and it deletes the password and resets it to blank. So in our check password function, we come down here and we check if it is either equal to our unlock password or our lock password. If it's equal to our unlock password, then we can set the mag lock to low, which turns it off, and we flash the green LED to let the player know that the puzzle has been solved. If the password is equal to the game master's lock password, then we flash the red LED a couple times, let the game master know that that their unique code has been entered, and the lock pin resets itself to high, so that this is used for easy reset between games for the game master. And if the password doesn't equal the lock or the unlock, we flash the red LED to let the player or the game master know that the password, whichever way, was incorrect.